Okay. So this story God gave me today while I was flying to Cancun. And by the way, I mean Cancun today is like the I think 15th of August 2025. Beautiful city. This is my second time in Cancun. This is my second time in Cancun, essentially. First time I didn't stay too long, and then this time I think I have like a 10 some days essentially. Okay, okay, so let's get into it. So the story is called it's Super Dash, right? So it's not really like these stories that I usually tell from scratch, right? This is not from scratch. This is like just like reimagine. Okay, let me explain how it happened, right? So I was flying in the plane with like Spirit Airline, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I saw Superman. I imagined Superman essentially, like by the flying alongside us, right? So in my head, I was like, what if, and then, Godfood is like started talking to me about how if capitalism, the story of how capitalism, what will happen if capitalism caught up with Superman? Do you understand? Capitalism always catches up, right? So I was like, okay, with most things, right? So what will happen so the story is a tale of how capitalism caught up with Superman, right? So let's just get into it. Enough of the preamble, right? Very cool. So the story starts with in 1978 broadcast of like in 1978 broadcast, right, of where they are talking about Superman saving the city, right? Now that broadcast, right, was being watched by astronauts in the ISS, right? They were watching that broadcast, but they forgot to turn off their transmission, right? So the waves from that broadcast was being broadcast live into space, right? So eventually some of those waves, right, found their way to the planets so it took time, right, for the waves to travel through space. So in 2025, no, let's just say the story is set in 2045. In the year 2045, no, 2025, let's say 2025. So by the year 2025, yeah, those waves, right, reached the edge of our solar system, right? Those like broadcast waves, right? And then meanwhile, Superman is from a planet, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. So some of his people, some of the others of his species essentially, right, his fellow countrymen, they were traveling in a spaceship, and then they happened to like stumble on those they stumbled on those waves essentially, and then eventually they decoded it and then they watched it,